My name is Jason Simard, and I am the founder of Sims Coaching Systems. I'm here with my co-founder, Joe Moretti, and we're here on the 7-Figure Real Estate Podcast, the podcast you didn't know you even needed. Everyone, get your notepads out. Let's go. We're going to bring you value week over week, and we're actually going to be a lot of fun, and we hope to make you laugh out loud. Subscribe to our channel. Check the content out. If you're looking to take this to a whole nother level, we got you covered. Joe Moretti, good morning, sir.
Jason Simard, happy Monday, my friend.
It's good to see you. Last time I saw you, we were in Las Vegas.
No, actually, it wasn't. Last time we hung out was Vegas, and then I picked your ass up from the airport Saturday night.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for giving me a ride, by the way.
Yeah, no worries.
I appreciate it.
No worries. And for anybody who doesn't know, Jay lives across the street from me, so it's...
Thank you.
Yeah,
My own wife wouldn't pick me up late at night. She's like, you just get a taxi, and you were nice enough to pick me up, so thank you.
I did.
I get to the airport, and who's standing there with a sign? Joe, what did the sign say?
Yeah, well, it's one of those things, man. Like, you're one of my best friends, so you got to add an element of like ball breaking in there. So I figured if I had to get my ass out to the airport at 10:30 at night, I made a sign, and it was like a decent sized sign. Like it was on like a giant piece of paper. It said, "Welcome home, Jason Simard," is what the sign said.
Yeah. It said a little more than that.
Yeah, it did. And then below it said founder and CEO of the 2-Inch Penis Club. So, and I made...
So Joe's sitting there with a sign shouting this in an airport. He's like, welcome home, Jason Simard, founder of the 2-Inch Penis Club. And he said it like 3 times. I'm like horrified, just looking down at the ground. Like literally, there's like real people there. This isn't like this is an airport.
It was a full plane.
Oh man!
And I actually held the sign all the way out, like until we got out of the airport.
And the only thing I could freaking think to say is like, it was cold out. I swear. Fucking asshole. This is what happens though when you have good buddies. So tell you what though, thank you for giving me the ride.
Hey man, no worries.
In the future, I'll be taking a cab. So, but man, I will get you back for that one.
I hope so.
I will get you back for that one.
And I think, I love that kind of stuff, and I'm glad that we have that relationship that we can, again, mess with each other. I really value that. Another thing that I value is hanging out with partners from our collaborative movement, coaching students, and just people who have helped support us and allowed us to flourish in roles that, man, keep me up at night that I'm so excited. We were at EXPCon last week.
We were in Vegas.
Man, oh man.
Vegas.
We were Sims City.
We took over the city.
We definitely put a dent in it.
Like Las Vegas now has Sims as part of the name.
Yeah, welcome to Sim City.
We threw our very first penthouse party. We had two DJs.
Yeah.
We had bartenders, an open bar. We had a good time. It was a lot of fun. Beautiful penthouse at the Aria. Shout out to the Aria.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun. So here's the thing that I wanted to talk about today. I think this is a good topic, is like how you can make the most of a real estate conference and why they're important. Because I think a lot of people don't go to them. They're like, oh, what a waste of time or waste of money. But I'm going to say like it could be one of the best things you can do in your business. And in fact, let's talk about some of the things that we've learned and things that have happened for us at real estate conferences in the past. So why don't you start with about like your experience this last week?
Yeah. So this is the third conference that we've been to together. And I think two out of the 3, we did some amazing things. 1 out of the 3 was just a chance for us to get away to Whistler. And we didn't really do much networking on that one, but that was always more of just a weekend, like just hang out. But I think that this EXPCon was absolutely amazing. And I encourage anybody who ever has a chance, whether it's EXPCon or maybe it's a Keller Williams event or Remax or whatever, get out there and make the most of it. So one of the experiences that really stands out in my mind, and one thing that I always look for, is you're in a room of like 2,000 people listening to a speaker. People are on their phones. Nobody's really engaging. I'd say half the audience is listening. I always watch for the people asking questions, because those are the people that are vulnerable enough, bold enough, and are leading with enough intention that they have a specific issue that they want to mastermind around. Now at the conference, we were watching Mike Sherrard. So we were at a Mike Sherrard event.
Joe has a new man crush on this guy.
Man, anybody who knows
Seriously,
me knows
I've heard this guy's name like 4 or 5 times today.
Yeah, but it's all been context. It's all been in context.
Seriously.
So,
Killing me.
so Mike Sherrard went to a Mike Sherrard piece, and at the end there was a question and answer with Mike Sherrard, and this dude gets up, and he takes the microphone from the woman that's asking the questions, and
Is this drip?
What's that?
Is this drip?
Yeah.
Drip.
So he grabs a microphone, and all of a sudden, like again, everybody's sort of looking, and he goes, "Hey, clap one time if real estate changed your life." And everybody looks at him, and there's this awkward moment of silence, and everybody just goes like this. And he goes, "No. Clap 5 times if real estate changed your life." And everybody's like this. It was the craziest thing. Even I'm just like, but just the way this guy grabbed the room, and I was like, man, I got to meet this guy.
His presence.
He had a presence. So we kind of left. We sort of the 2,000 people just kind of disperse at Mandalay.
He did this in front of 2,000 people.
2,000
He's
people.
in the audience. He's not even part of it.
He's in the audience.
He's not even the speaker.
He had a question and had to like walk around the room, this giant auditorium at Mandalay, and like lead with that energy.
I call him Drip, by the way, because he had like a $30,000 freaking like diamond chain that he was wearing. Like this guy was awesome. Like
Man.
This guy looked like straight out of a rap video, like 6'3", 6'4", like
He's a handsome
athlete.
dude.
He's a handsome dude, like athlete, wearing like full drip. Like, oh man, this guy's crazy.
So we kind of go about our business, and we happen to be walking through our hotel, which was like halfway down the strip. We're staying at the Aria. Conference was at Mandalay. Walking through the randomly looking for pizza, right? And this would have been maybe about an hour or so before we hosted like our VIP event. And he happens to be walking like the other way, like just happened to. And I just went, hey.
I honestly thought we were about to get in a fight. Like I was like, Joe, I'm not asking questions. I'm just like, all right, man, like I'm ready to throw. I don't know why. We're in a freaking casino, and Joe's like yelling at this big, like this is a big black guy, okay? He's a strong looking man. I'm like, oh my God, like this is not gonna be good. And Joe's just like, hey. I'm like, did something happen? Like what's going on? But I'm just like, I'm ready.
So I walk, and he's looking at me. And I walk up and I went, hey, I wanted to introduce myself because what you said resonated. And I said, I want to let you know that I will give you 2 years and you'll be the one on the stage if you keep leading with that energy. And he just looked at me. And he was like, huh? And so I said, hey.
The guy was on the phone, by the way.
Yeah. Like
Joe just interrupted this guy in the middle of a casino.
And he was just like, call you back. Put the phone down. And so I said, I'm Joe Moretti, general manager of a real estate team. We do around 400 deals a year. Also a coaching company. So we've got, up to 500 coaching students in 6 different countries. And I said, something that just your whole presence, like it something resonated. And I just wanted to say, thank you. And he just kind of looked at me. And I said, we're throwing this VIP event and I would love it if you could attend, bring that energy. And he was just like, he goes, my first year in real estate, man, I missed icon status by $1,000. And so he starts telling me this story. So he university athlete, came from North Carolina, go Tar Heels, and used to be in radio. 65,000 followers on Instagram. So this guy's legit. His name's John Adams.
Shout out to John Adams.
Shout out to John Adams and his
real estate changed my life. I think is his slogan. Yeah. He literally had a slogan
on a hat, a t-shirt, and shorts.
Like this guy gets it. He just gets it, and it's his first year in real estate. Shout out to him. He did 30 something deals in his first year. Guy has hustle. Anyways, shout out to, I call him Drep.
Yeah. So shout out to John Adams, and shout out to his business partner, Rev the exec. Because the funny thing is they have the same thing going that we do. And if I could put it in I guess sort of broad or general terms, like you're the guy that delivers the content and I'm the hype man. That's just how it goes. But they do the same thing. They've got people that play roles. And I thought it was so interesting because their business it sort of mirrors what we're doing, which I thought was amazing. So invited them up. They came up, and here's the thing that I think, honestly, even above and beyond grabbing the energy of the room like that, the part that got me the most, and this is this again, if you're going to a conference and you want to make an impact on somebody, follow this playbook. They asked amazing questions. Like, I mean, before we got into the elevator, so we had to go down to pick people up to bring them up to the penthouse. They asked me questions in the elevator, asked me questions in the lobby. We sat outside for about 40 minutes. All they did was ask questions. But every question I answered, what do you think they did?
They wrote it down.
They wrote it down.
These guys were focused, man. I loved it.
They wrote it down. Every single piece of advice, every tidbit, everything. They wrote it all down.
Well, here's the thing. Here's what they didn't realize. By him having the courage to speak up in front of 2,000 people, he made impact on somebody like yourself who remembered him, who got him to a penthouse party with like tons of like 7-figure producers, like healthy 6-figure producers. Like people in this penthouse were like very successful people. He got himself in that room as a first-year agent. Why? Because A, he showed up. B, he made impact. Somebody noticed him. And then instead of doing what a lot of people would do, which is like, oh, sorry, I'm busy because it wasn't planned. Like literally he had an hour's notice before the penthouse party. But he dropped whatever else he was doing and he made time to come. He brought people. And we told him he could bring a couple people, no problem. And this guy's sitting there taking notes. And I thought, wow, this guy gets it. He just gets it.
Oh, for sure. And having him and having Rev up there, I think it was an amazing experience for them. And I hope that they're able to sort of capitalize on that. And I had mentioned to him, I'm like, look, man, if you need support, please let me know. Like, I love engaging with people that want to engage back, right? Like when people ask questions and they care enough, they give a shit enough to actually write down the response. And I think if you're an agent listening to this, please, whether it is prospecting, whether it is your buyer's consultation, it's a listing consultation. If you're at a conference, care enough to write something down. Man, that goes a long way when people actually think that you're paying attention to the responses. Wow.
So love that story. Here's another cool story. This is, again, if you want to get the most out of a conference, this is what you need to do. Go and sit at new tables. So I'm sitting there. And I purposely didn't have my name tag on or whatever, right? So nobody knew, or a lot of people didn't know necessarily who I was or my story, which creates a reason for them to hopefully engage with me. So I'm sitting there and this lady comes and sits next to me. And instead of doing what a lot of people do and just being like, oh, hi, and then not saying anything, I introduced myself and I asked questions and I just wanted to learn more about her and where she was from. And turns out she's from the same city as one of our expansion partners and previous coaching students who's now like an EXP partner of ours who's done massive business. And she knew exactly who he was. She's like, man, he's like really blown up. She's like, how long have you been coaching? I'm like, 2 years. She's like, oh, you're a big reason why he got to where he was. And then I found out where she's at. She's been in the business for a long time, successful, doing well, but she's trying to figure out how to retire. She's finding the transition really hard. Like she doesn't know how to get off the hamster wheel. And so her and I got in a great conversation. I gave her some tips and some playbook stuff, and we're going to follow up and have a conversation. But had she not just gone and sat at a new table and engaged in conversation with somebody, she could have missed out on a massive opportunity that could literally change her life. Like this lady doesn't know, but like I could potentially change her life, And so when you go anywhere, just remember there's people sitting there who are like afraid to talk to somebody, who would love nothing more than to have a conversation with another human being. And so instead of like sitting there silently, just say hi, introduce yourself to people and ask questions, be curious, right? And by doing that, it's amazing like what will happen to your network. So people that are like, oh, I don't know how to get real estate business. Well, how many strangers are you talking to on a daily basis? One of my my sponsor that got me into EXP, he didn't get me there, but he was the guy that I put down. He used to every day when he was in production and getting his real estate business going, every day he would talk to 5 strangers before 10 o'clock. 5. This was like literally what he did. every day, consistently, 5 days a week. He'd talk to 5 strangers before 10 o'clock. He purposely like went out of his way to like introduce. And guess what happened? He became uberly successful, multimillionaire now, because he consistently did that. So let's talk to strangers, guys. We're not kids anymore, right? So like you should be talking to more and more strangers. Conferences are a great place because number one, people are there for a reason. They're there because they want to mastermind. Yep. They're there because they want to network. They're there because they also want to party and have a good time. And, you know, just start putting yourself out there, and it's incredible what can start opening up. So there's another tip for you.
And you know, when I go to these conferences, it's funny because I always sort of tell you like each day, I prefer to go to a lot of things alone. I like to go alone because sometimes people go like in these like wolf packs where there's 5 or 6 people and you're almost like a little clique, a little group. Nobody wants to approach that, right? You've occupied the whole table. You're having a conversation maybe about an inside joke or something everybody did last night. And it shuts the world out. Like you're in your own zone. So I always ask like, hey, you know, Jay, what sessions are you going to? I'm going to go to something different because I like to go there by myself because people who are by themselves, you're so much more approachable. But also go there and make plans. Go for lunch with somebody that you've never had the chance to go for lunch with before. And there are so many people at these conferences who maybe aren't outgoing, right? Who are sitting there going like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do tonight. And yeah, I'll just maybe go to McDonald's by myself, but be that person that's like, you know what? I'd actually love to grab lunch. Do you have plans? And sometimes when you do that, they go, well, I don't have plans, but I'm here with 5 other people. Why don't you come with us? Wow. There's 5 more people that you didn't know. 5 more sources of opportunity. 5 more sources of referral places. Like let's take John, for example, our buddy John Adams. One of the first things he said is, I'm John Adams. I'm your Charlotte referral partner. Now, he's the only person that we didn't go to the conference with directly that I specifically remember. If somebody called us up tomorrow and was like, do you know a Charlotte agent? I'd be like, yes. Yes, I do. 100%. I'm getting so excited I'm knocking the microphone, right? But again, have that level of enthusiasm. Tell people who you are. Lead with value, right? And if you have something, wear a branded t-shirt. Get something made up. I mean, we did a road show about a year and a half ago, and we had t-shirts made up, right? And one of the things we talked about, Vegas was a last-minute thing for us, but we talked about, you're like, Joe, do we get t-shirts? Because again, it's that branding play. People remember that stuff.
I call this peacocking.
Yeah.
Right? Wear like a loud outfit, crazy hat, something that makes you stand out from the 5,000 other people that are there.
Grow a mustache.
Grow a mustache, whatever, but do something that makes you more visible and memorable. And your John Adam guy, perfect example, right? He had like real estate changed my life, and he had a whole branding play that he was doing, which was smart. And now he's memorable to a lot of people. He made impact. He wasn't afraid to put himself out there. And I think too many times people are worried about like, oh, what are people going to think? Who cares? Who cares? Because I promise you, by you just standing out and having the courage to do something, you will make impact with somebody. You will. It's impossible for it not to. So another thing that I would suggest if you want to get the most from a real estate conference is go to some of the speakers and listen to some of the content that's there. There was some incredible stuff that went down. You know, shout out to John Cheplak.
Oh,
he was there, gave great value, right? Very successful coach. Jarek Robbins was there. Gave some really good things on how to manage your emotions, how to reset when you're just off in your day, how to get yourself reset and centered within a few minutes.
Go Betke.
Go, yeah, for sure. She's another influencer that's built a massive organization. And
huge.
Just go and take notes. And then the biggest thing that I would say too, when you're at the conference, is get out there and have fun too.
Yes.
Right? Because you actually build deeper connections with people when you're having fun and experiences. So this is why, like, if you meet somebody at the conference and you're like, oh, this person seems really neat, invite them out to your after party or invite them out to go do whatever you guys are planning on doing, because you'll get to know them on a deeper level.
Or be open if they invite you.
Yeah, say yes. Quit saying no. Like, God, how annoying are those people in your life that always just say no or like maybe, but you know maybe means no?
I hate maybe.
Oh, it's just like, yes, say yes. Let's go do something.
Absolutely. And you know, we had some amazing, like, memorable experience, just the two of us. Like just wandering around, being idiots, having laughs, waiting for the tram, telling stories. And I think that's such a big thing too, right? Is if you can go with somebody that you know, you like, you trust, because they'll sort of elevate your confidence.
Totally.
I mean, we set little goals. You know, how many people can you talk to today? I talked to this person. Who'd you talk to? And we push each other, right? We're not just like, well, let's just go for 5 minutes and then go to the spa. We push each other. So just like you do in life, in your real estate circles, take somebody who's going to challenge you and elevate you, because it's really easy to get dragged down by somebody who's like, well, I don't want to be here. I don't like that. You know, let's just hang out by the pool today. There's no point. It's a write-off anyway. Go with somebody who's gonna push you, right? I think that's important. I think sometimes you take the wrong people with you.
Yeah, they can kill the vibe for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Here's a fun little tip. I've done this before, because I sometimes, believe it or not, I can be a little bit nervous when I'm in around people that I don't know. And so one thing that I've done this a few times in my life.
You wear sunglasses.
So, well, you can wear sunglasses. But what I do is I create a little bit of a character. So it's like 80% me, but I add 20% where it's I embellish certain parts of my personality. Maybe it's this overconfident guy or whatever. And I create this character, and I just give him a name or a persona. And I go into character. So it's it's not me. It's this character, you know? And it's funny because it works every time. And I just go and I just start talking to strangers, and I start doing things that Jason might not do, but this character, you know, will do, and breaks the ice every time. And then all of a sudden I just get in conversations and banter, and all these fun things and all these scenarios start happening, and boom, next thing you know, then they get to know your real you, and you get to know them, but you've kind of broken the ice. So that's a little tip. It might sound crazy, but it works. I remember one time in high school, I went to a party and I didn't know a single person. So I pretended to be Australian, and I threw on an Australian accent. I had the attention of everybody there, right? All the girls wanted to talk to me, and it was just didn't know anybody at this party, but it worked. Yeah. And I've done this before at a conference where I was in Mexico, and I was I'm going to be an overconfident, just an overconfident guy. I'm going to be cocky, and that's going to be my character, because it's not really who I am, but I'm going to be that guy. And again, same thing happened. I started meeting all these people, and it just created an atmosphere. So if you're one of those people that gets a little bit shy, or you're afraid to put yourself out there, just create a little bit of a character and have fun with it.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that just how you lead, and leading with intention, is so important. I never lead with how are you, and I never lead with where are you from. I think those are just some of those boring questions in the world. Because then they go San Antonio, and you're cool. I know nothing about San Antonio, which even producer Ryan can account for. I know shit about San Antonio. But, lead with those are amazing shoes. Or I just want to stop you. I love that jacket. Or, when you ask that question, I was actually thinking the same thing. Lead with something besides the age-old, tell me about your business. Man, nobody wants to hear that in the beginning, especially if you're at a conference.
Totally.
People have been asked that about 100 times. But stop people be I noticed those sneakers as you were walking by. Jordan Force, right? Or, you know what? I just wanted to say, I've seen you with that leather jacket 3 or 4 times. I got to ask, where did you grab that from? Oh, I grabbed it in Austin, Texas, because I'm from Austin. Oh, that's amazing, right? I've never been there before. But lead with something different, because people are going to get asked 100 times. That's those same stupid questions.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's so important. Just people want to be noticed.
I agree.
People want to be noticed, right? Instead of if you notice something nice that somebody's done, maybe they got a haircut, or they're wearing a color that really flatters them, whatever, say it, right? It makes their day. Nobody. If you get offended by a compliment, a genuine compliment that has nothing behind it other than it's just a genuine compliment, then you have problems, not the person giving the compliment. Really. So look to lift people up. This is something I try to teach my kids, and I'm just listen, be a leader, but be a leader for good. Lift people up. Are you an anchor in people's life, or are you somebody that lifts them up and pushes them up to be the best version of themselves, or where they walk away and be I really like being around him, right? That's really, really, really important. So, just compliment people. You know what? I could tell you put a lot of thought in that outfit, and I love how you match the shoes up to your dress. Do you know what I mean? Like, whatever. I like the thought that you put into it. Yeah, I'm just giving you an example. But you know what I mean? Or, oh my God, I love those earrings. Like, clever. Tell me about them. Or tattoos. This is my icebreaker. Okay, I love your tattoo. Tell me the story behind it. There's a good tip for you guys. If you want to get conversation with a stranger and you see they have tattoos, ask, what's the story behind it?
Or where did you get it?
Yeah.
How long have you had it for?
Totally.
Right? Like there's a million things you can ask them. Please, at these conferences, move away from, what's your name? In the beginning, move away from, what do you do? Move away from like, where are you from? Like just get engaging. So those are just a couple tips. And please, it is always worth the money. And
it's a write-off too. It's like a vacation write-off. You need a vacation.
People always go, the tickets are $600. The tickets are $300. Man, you pull one referral out of there and it's paid for itself 10x. Totally. Like so get off your ass, get to the conferences, have some fun, be engaging.
And you know what? Go up to the people that you're like, oh my God, I would never talk to them. Just go and talk to them.
Put on your Australian accent.
Whatever, right? Have fun. Notice people, and there you go. Get out to some real estate conferences, meet some people. Mm-hmm. Try and find one or two people that you can learn from that maybe balance you out in areas that you might be weak in too. That's something I strategically have done in conferences in the past is I look for people that excel in areas of the business that maybe I didn't or that I want to excel in. And then what happens is you start creating what I call a mastermind group. And that mastermind group starts growing. And all of a sudden now you've got other high producers that you can access and that you can network with, and it will help you raise your game in the industry. So, Joe, good to see you, man. Vegas was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, make sure you subscribe to our channel, our YouTube channel. We're also on Spotify. We're on basically any of the different places that are streaming podcasts. We want to continue to bring value, and always a pleasure, my friend.
Love it. Till next time.
Cheers. Okay, guys, I'm going to talk about a new program that we've launched. I've been building this program for 7 years. This has a 97% track record with our real estate team. Our average agent is earning almost $150,000 in their first 12 months working with this program. We've only ever had one person not make it, and that person quit after 90 days. We have proven that this system is something that will enhance your business, that will teach you how to make a healthy six-figure income from real estate. We've documented the whole program. We've put together a dream team, and I'm going to talk to you about exactly what we're going to cover and how we can change your life as a realtor. Stop wasting money on other programs. This is the program you guys need if you want to kick butt in real estate. Here we go, guys. We're talking directly to you team leaders and why most of your onboarding sucks, and this is why you're having huge agent turnover and why you're pulling your hair out stuck in production.
One thing I want to bring up, and I think this is something worth noting in the beginning, this is going to add a lot of context. Failure rate in real estate, 87% over the first 2 years. 87%. Man, that's a 13% success rate. So let's look at that as an industry whole. And then let's just sort of break it down a little bit. Sims Real Estate Group. Jay, how long have we been around for?
7 years.
7 years. Over the last 7 years, what is our failure rate?
3%.
Sorry, can you say that one more time?
3%.
3% versus...
Had one agent not make it on our team. One.
Okay, so let's just set the stage here. We have 3% at Sims. We have 87% industry-wide. What do you think accounts for that?
So here's the problem that I'm seeing, and we've coached hundreds of team leaders, right? So this is something that we do all the time. What I'm noticing with team leaders is most of them are still in production because that's what they're taught, right? I'm going to talk to you Mike Ferry agents. I meet a lot of Mike Ferry agents who make a ton of money, by the way, and are killers. I'm not knocking Mike Ferry because he's a great coach. But what he doesn't teach you, he doesn't teach you how to be a CEO. He teaches you how to create sales. And he teaches you to be the main guy, right? And then just add people around you. Problem with that is you get stuck on the hamster wheel and you get stuck in production. What we focus on is teaching agents how to create systems where they can replicate their success, where they can now leverage out their business and become more of a CEO. So number one, as an agent, if you're doing 50, 60, 70, 100 deals a year in production, you don't have the time to mentor and train other agents. So what you're going to do is you're going to give a very half-ass effort, fly by the seat of your pants, and basically hope that they can be like you. The reality of it is I can't teach people to be Jason Simard, but I can teach people to follow Jason Simard's systems. Does that make sense? So
Absolutely.
once you create continuity and systems that you can now replicate, you can basically grow very fast and you can start scaling, and then you can be out of production. I've been out of production, you know this, for almost 3.5 years now. How have I been able to do that? Is because in order for me to get to this point, I took the time to put the systems and the foundation where I could replicate what was working really, really well in other people. And I started with Jackie, was our first agent that we brought on board, created replication. The guy's a monster doing 90 plus deals every year, like incredible, right? Then we did it with another agent doing 48, 49, 50 sales a year. And we kept replicating, and we just systemized our listing process, our listing standards, our buyer processes, our phone processes, our handling objections. Everything became very systematic. And then it was just a matter of hiring the right people. And this is another big mistake that you guys are making. You have to find the right people.
That's such an interesting point. You know, a lot of people ask us, they kind of go, how do I know this is the right person? Right? I'm looking at bringing on somebody in the team. They do 75 deals a year. Now, I have been hiring for almost 20 years. 20 years I've been interviewing. And I'll tell you, in my 20 years, the most successful, the best hires I've ever done is where I hire on attitude, not aptitude. And I think that is such a key piece, right? Are they going to add to your culture? Is it somebody who is coming motivated? Because it is such a 1980s concept that I can motivate you. Now, my goal is to inspire the will to win. That's different than motivating. Right. So I think you need somebody with a good work ethic. You need somebody who is motivated, who has maybe a similar personality style, but also complements and rounds out the team, right? Sorry, Jason, we already have a Jason, right? So I think that's a really important piece. Now, something you alluded to is you talked about, Jackie, our number one agent. You talked about Jackie, and you used the same word twice. When I brought Jackie on board, when Jackie came on board, let's talk about onboarding. Because again, I think this is something that people truly do struggle with. And I think sometimes people bring in the right agent, but without a solid onboarding plan, how fast does it go to shit?
It can go to shit pretty quickly.
Man.
You bring the right people, but have no support network. They're going to soon realize that they've literally come in here to just support you and become your basically glorified assistant. So if that's the type of environment that you're creating as a team leader, and you're wondering why you're having turnover, that's it, right? You need to create an environment where as a team leader, your job is to help your agents become successful, help them earn a healthy income. And the way to do that is by creating an environment where they can thrive, where they're supported, right? And where they get mentored, because that's why they joined you in the first place, because they look up to you. Once you get that, then understand that they actually want some of your time. So how can you do that in an effective manner? How can you create an environment that's scalable? And so number one thing that I would suggest to any agent is to, number one, look yourself in the mirror and say, do I genuinely have the time to put into this agent to really help them be successful? Or am I just flying by the seat of my pants? Once you understand that if I'm flying by the seat of my pants, then I need you to look for established systems that can take that over for you and do an amazing job. And so this segues perfectly into what we've launched. We've actually spent the last 3.5 years developing a full onboarding system to where we're ready now to open this up to team leaders out there who want the same agent onboarding experience that our agents at Sims Real Estate Group have. By the way, I'm going to remind you guys, we've only had one agent not succeed in our team. One. And they quit after 90 days because, they just couldn't hack the industry and it was just tough for them at home. Okay. So that's the reality. It wasn't because that they weren't getting supported, but 97% of our agents that have joined us make 6 figures in their first 12 months. These are brand new agents from scratch, guys. And the reason for that is because we've created an onboarding infrastructure. We've created a support system that is world-class. And we're now opening this up. We've added a rock star team of people to this group. And we've opened this up now where we can help you, team leaders, with your onboarding. Take what we're doing. Don't reinvent the wheel. Tweak 10% of it, but take the 90%, right? Make it your own. But we'll actually mentor and train your agents for you. at a cost that's like seriously a no-brainer. We've made it so it's like smarter for you to spend your time doing production and let us handle the onboarding. And we will guarantee you results as long as you bring in the right people. And we'll even help you with that. If you want some tips on how to bring in the right people, we'll do that. We've only had 3 people ever leave our team, and they still collaborate with us. They left the team not because they were failing, because they were doing phenomenally well, but they always had their own personal interests to go out and build their own teams. That's a whole other thing that we can show you guys. But we have a very high retention rate because we put a lot into our people, and we're continually working on being better and better. But we're ready to launch this. And this is something that's like, it's hard to find out there, guys. A world-class team doing close to 400 sales a year with average per agent production being over 35 sales a year, opening up an onboarding system and playbook that they will help you download with your agents. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, you won't find it anywhere else, right? And we're talking also about live sessions. I think a lot of people have tried to make this work, and it's 99% reliant on pre-recorded content. So you miss that element of support. And I think that that's one thing that we've managed to kind of circumvent, because for us, it is about live support. I mean, we partnered up with James Nichols. I mean, what an amazing guy.
17 years experience.
Managing broker.
Yes.
Right?
17 years experience. The guy knows contracts. He knows production. So we brought him in because we also know that your agents need to know contracts. They need to have somebody that's available to help navigate that. Not only do they need to know how to make business happen, which is a huge part of what we will focus on, but they also need to have somebody there that can help them work through contracts. And so just the extra level of support that you will have as a team leader, is going to make your people know that you invest in world-class training. They're going to know that they're in the right place. Mm-hmm. And number 3, you're now going to have an onboarding process and system that you can now use for the future. If you want to continue using us for your future onboarding, great. We'll happily do that. But if you want, you can also take what we've implemented and then add that into your business as you start scaling back. Because part of your mission as a team leader is, how do I scale back my personal production and increase my company's production? That's a different focus. It's a different mindset. But man, there's nothing like having time freedom. And it's very possible if you do it the right way. We'll help you guys fast track. Listen, I've spent millions of dollars, thousands of hours that we've put into our onboarding to be able to put a product like this together for people. And if you're interested in learning more, how can people get a hold of us, Joe?
Man, you can find us on social media. So there's also a mastermind a mastermind group that we have, Sims Coaching Systems Mastermind. You can find us on Instagram, look up Jason Simard, or you can look up Sims Coaching Systems. You can slide into our DMs. You can ask us more.
So what's the best email that they can reach out to us?
info@simscoachingsystems.com. Too easy, right? Again, if you want to learn more about us as well, you can check out our YouTube channel. You can check out our Instagram. Once a month, we usually go live with some amazing coaching content through Facebook. So please come find us. I mean, sometimes I think we're almost the industry's best kept secret. So we will add so much value. We will help you revolutionize that agent onboarding, training, retention. We got you. We got you.
Guys, if you're curious, you're thinking about growing a team, you already have a team and you're frustrated because you're not seeing the results from your agents, let us mentor and coach your people. Let us set up our onboarding and make it your own, and then help you get these guys off to the races quickly. And there's no reason with really good mentorship and onboarding that we couldn't get a brand new agent from scratch to 6 figures. We've done this 97% of the time with our own team. And as long as you have the right infrastructure, and we'll take the time to make sure that you're ready to scale as a team leader, we're not going to tell everybody that they should, right? We're going to make sure you're ready, and we'll tell you exactly what you need in order to be a successful team leader. But if you have the foundation, there's no doubt in my mind, Joe, we can get your agents to be very successful. And guess what? If they're successful, you're successful. That's the beauty of being a team leader. It's all about your people's success. It's not about you anymore. It's about them.
And also, let's before we wrap this up, calling all new agents with nowhere to go, new agents who maybe just passed their license exam for their state or their province. How is this going to benefit a new agent who's maybe on their own and is not a team?
Listen, as a brand new agent, you owe it to yourself to get the best mentorship right out of the gate. This is a tough business for a lot of people, and a lot of people fail. And we hear this consistently over and over when our agents go into their 6-month courses, right? Where they get their full license, because in British Columbia you have to do that. They're like, I'm shocked. Like I've done way more business than anybody in my class. And that consistently happens over and over. It's a theme. So if you're a new agent, or you're an agent that's been floundering for the last 2 years, maybe you've been part-time, this program is exactly what you need, because we're not going to just teach you the 101. We're going to teach you how to build a successful, scalable business for yourself. And it's literally built on a proven roadmap and system that we've replicated now hundreds of times throughout the globe. We have people in 5 countries that we've helped mentor now. And we have it all organized. We put together a world-class support network on it, and it's there. So guys, if you're curious and you really want to level up in your business, you owe it to yourself to have a conversation with us. No pressure, because at the end of the day, like, if we can't help you, we'll be the first to tell you. But if you've got the right attitude, work ethic, and mindset, I can tell you one thing: success is imminent.
Love it.
There you go. Guys, subscribe to our podcast. If you're not on our podcast, subscribe. We're going to be bringing a tremendous amount of value. Today, we wanted to focus on an area in the industry right now that we feel there's huge opportunity, and we wanted to make sure you guys knew that we have a program and system to address that, and we'd love the opportunity to chat with you guys about your business. So info@simscoachingsystems.com. That's our email. Sims Coaching Systems is our coaching company. Sims Real Estate Group is our real estate team. And guys, it's always a pleasure to be on these things. Joe, my man,
Okay.
let's go.